This is fabulous. I need to get me one of these.
Hi everyone, Nigel, Saunders here. It is Ficus Friday once again, and I have a very special guest in the bonsai zone, Dave from the YouTube channel Dave's Bonsai.
Hi.
Hi Dave, how's it going?
It's great. Thank you so much for having me.
It's so surreal to see you in person. I've only ever watched Dave on video, and to meet him, it's like, I don't know, it's a strange feeling.
It continues to be strange because I got here yesterday and it's still weird that I'm in the bonsai zone.
It is. It's just bizarre. I'm almost kind of like starstruck or something. It's just strange.
I'm in the zone. I'm starstruck.
So today we are going to be pruning up my Vietnam style Ficus microcarpa. You can see the shoots after the Toronto show have grown quite long and it needs pruning back. Here is a look at the tree, and Dave is going to spin it around so we can see all the new growth on it. So it's looking quite lush. The branches have come out really nicely. I never put my sphagnum moss back on the roots to kind of create more aerial roots, but that's something I will do one of these days.
That's on the someday list.
So this is the back of the tree here. So you can see that aerial root that's escaped down into the bottom of the tray there, which is kind of cool. I have a new root that grew alongside this pillar back here. That's just kind of cool. Kind of gives it realistic appearance, because I've seen pots in Vietnam. They grow giant trees there, and sometimes you see roots that have reached down to the ground and are thickening up. It just adds an interesting element to the tree. So these shoots are plenty long enough. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 leaves on it typically, so plenty of leaves to prune it back. You can see the tree is really bushy now, so obviously I want to prune it back to size, but by pruning it back you're also getting taper in the branches, you're getting ramifications, so the one branch will divide into two after pruning. You'll also get movement, so you know, a straight branch, you cut it back, the new branches grow in at a slightly different angle, so you get movement, taper, and compactness, and everything you want in a bonsai. So that's the goal of today, is to reduce this tree back, set it up for the next growth period. You just keep repeating the process, and slowly over the years these branches get thicker and they have this fantastic character to them because they're clip and grow, that they get subtle movement in them, subtle taper, scarring. They get everything that you need in a miniature tree. So I'm going to begin the pruning now. I'm going to get Dave to help me too. So generally I start at the top of the tree, but not always. It doesn't really matter. And on most of these branches I'm going to prune them back from, like, as I said, from 9 leaves back to the first couple. And where I pruned is dependent on the leaf direction. Your new branch will grow in, there's a dormant bud at the base of each leaf, so the new branch will grow in the direction the leaf is facing. So that's your guide to where to prune it. If you want this branch to come out the back, you prune it to a leaf that's facing out the back. If you want it to come out to the front, you prune it to a leaf that's facing out the front. If you want it to bend down, you prune it just ahead of a downward facing leaf. If you want it to grow vertically, to a leaf that's facing upwards. So that's called directional pruning. Let the pruning begin. Dave's going to do the pruning here. I'm putting him to work when he's here.
I'm a little nervous.
Working vacation. Let's start on this longest branch here first of all. So let's look at the branch. So if we come back on this branch, we've got a choice of 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves.
Which direction do you want it to go?
It's a nice radial direction, so I would say this is the front of the tree. I don't think if we prune it to this leaf, the new branch is going to be coming straight out of the viewer. We don't want that.
We don't want it poking at us.
So I would say the one that's kind of on the bottom here,
okay,
towards the back. Now I'll show you that on camera if you can see it there. So there's this leaf here. If we prune it here, the new branch will kind of be a little more horizontal. It won't be swooping upwards. So we'll get a change of direction, change of taper. So I think just ahead of that leaf.
All right.
This isn't a big cut, is it, Dave?
It's not a big cut. but here we go.
Yeah.
So we're going to grow and we're going to keep this.
That was the leaf right there, yeah.
So,
yeah, perfect. You leave a little bit for dieback.
A little bit for dieback.
There's the first branch cut. Yeah.
There.
Whoa. Many more to go.
We might have to check my blood pressure.
Yeah. All right. So we might as well start from the bottom. Let's just, when you're doing this, I'm also checking for scale insects, and so far I haven't seen any, I don't think. Maybe there was one there. Yeah, there was. So that means, there's very little scale on it. I don't see any others, so I'm going to spray it, and that should take care of it. Just any you see, scrape off, and that manages it. So this branch is coming straight out the front of the tree, which isn't good to have a branch sticking straight out. So that entire branch, which is a new branch, is going to be removed.
Right to the base of that trunk,
Right to the base,
All
yeah.
right. I'm going to take off my glasses for my better view here.
Yeah. Like that. That's perfect.
All right.
So now from the front, you can see you don't have those eye poker branches
Right.
sticking straight out.
Nice.
Yeah, let's go around. I've got an aerial root growing there.
Oh, you do?
Let's go around to this back branch now, which is this one here. So this is kind of a low, from the front, you can't even see it. So it's not really an important branch, but from kind of other angles, it does fill in that space at the back. So we're gonna keep it.
Okay.
Because bonsai, I always tell people, design your tree so it looks good at all angles, 360 degrees. And then there's always one view that looks better. And even trees in nature, you can walk around a tree in nature and there's one view that highlights all the features of the tree. That's the front view.
Yeah.
But technically, trees in nature don't have front views.
Don't have a front.
But there's always one angle that shows off the features of the tree. So anyway, on this branch, I would keep it growing downwards. All these lower branches should be cascading or horizontal, and then as we go up, they're going to get more and more vertical. So all these lower branches we're pruning to kind of downward facing leaves. So on this we have a choice. There's 2 downward facing leaves, so I would prune just above those 2. That will get it divide into 2, and they'll both be kind of growing horizontal or downwards.
All right.
Yeah.
Glasses coming off.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect. And there's another branch here. You can see it's been pruned and pruned. It's not really ready. It hasn't grown that much, so I wouldn't even touch this branch.
Just leave it alone.
It's got some new growth at the tip, but that's it. So we could clean up a stub on there. There's an old pruning stub. That's all I would do. Yeah, perfect. I'll let you pick the next step branch, Dave, and you can explain to me where you're going to prune it and why.
Where I'm going to prune it and why.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the glasses definitely have to come off then. The next branch. Oh, the pressure is intense. Well, we were working on the bottom, so we have have this branch that really split out really early from the trunk.
Yeah.
It's
almost 2 branches coming from one spot.
2 coming from one spot.
So I would like to reduce that to 1 branch.
Okay.
So first of all, we need to pick our best branch. So you can.
And I'm looking at the front.
Yeah. So you pick which one's the best. It doesn't have to be the older one. It can be, if that new one's a better direction, we replace the older one with a new one. But
so the one branch that's closest to us in the front here, we have the branch right here, is really straight.
Yeah.
Absolutely no movement.
Yeah.
It's closer to us. The other one has kind of a nice little curve, so it's horizontal.
Yeah.
But it has movement. It's got a little bit of that slight movement. So when you look at those 2 branches, and then even the growth behind it has movement. So this one swoops down and then goes towards the back. There's 2 movements in that original older growth,
which is a plus.
Lends me to want to cut that one off.
I think
in
so
my
too.
first initial thought.
And another reason I think is that just above this niche branch, you've got another older branch, whereas this one has more of a spot of sunlight, whereas this one's going directly
underneath
the other
that one. That's competing.
So I agree with that decision. Prune that
one
new
off.
shoot right off.
Right off.
Yeah.
There we go.
There.
Yeah.
That looks good.
I'm happy with the decision. Are you okay with it?
That looks good. That looks
right.
really good. So pick another branch now and keep going.
Keep going. All right. Well, if we circle around, we're still on this bottom level here.
Yeah.
We got these 2 branches now coming over here. And again, from the front view, these two branches are starting to cross one another.
They're kind of in the same plane and sort of interfering with each other.
They're kind of going the same direction already, but now they're going to do this and cross. We almost have a double negative there, if you will.
Exactly.
And if I look at the two branches from the front, again, this one's showing more movement that you can see.
Yeah.
And this one kind of pops up into view more. This one's a little bit more distant. So if I want to see this branch, I would keep this one. If I want it to be more subtle, I would keep that one.
Now, my feeling on this is that we've got 3 different planes of branches. There's a lower one, a middle one, and an upper one.
Yep.
If we remove the middle one, we've got more space between the branches.
Sure.
Which is kind of nice because I find the lower one and the middle one are too close together from the front view.
Sure.
So even though it is the better branch,
in this case,
I think the back one also, these two branches are almost kind of growing parallel, whereas the back one splays out more.
Yeah.
So I think
we would cut
even
this
though
one
the
off
middle
instead.
one is the better branch, better developed, has a little more movement and taper, I think the back one is the
stronger,
a better position.
Better,
so this is a
better,
case,
better for the length of the tree.
Yeah.
Not right now, this second, but it will be better in the
It'll
end.
be better in the future. And this is part of Clip and Grow, is that you're always going to be given new opportunities of new shoots and branches coming out.
Yeah.
And when you get a branch going a better direction than an older one, you take off the older one and develop the newer one. And eventually, you get these branches that are all sorted out really nice.
Yeah.
And
because you got to pick and choose.
yeah, exactly.
So we're going to take this one completely off then.
Yeah, I agree with that, I think.
And
there we go.
There goes that one.
So now, from the front, you can see that separation between the branches, and it looks
right.
a little more spacious.
We're not fighting to actually see what's back there either. We just really
Yeah.
see what's in front of us that has two really nice branches right now.
Yeah, and sometimes you see a tree in nature and there's just all these branches on it, and it's, in bonsai we almost have to simplify it for your eye to take in,
Sure.
to see the branches.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, sometimes the trees have to be simplified a bit to look good. All right, so we're still going around.
In the back here,
Yeah.
we already touched one back here. We decided to keep it, like again, so it looks good
Right.
360.
Yeah.
And then we just have this one up here now,
Yeah.
and this one in here. You got an aerial root growing right there.
Yeah.
Um,
I personally, I don't think these have developed at all. They've kind of been in the shade.
Just
I think
we're just sitting there. We just leave them.
leave them, I think.
So we got that bottom section all the way around, pretty much
That's my feeling.
where we need to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's
Fantastic.
go. We pruned this one. So let's go. There's another aerial root there. Let's go up here. So this one, you can see it's coming straight out at the viewer. So we have two choices. We can prune it off, or we can sort of, is there a choice?
There's a little tiny one in there,
Yeah.
which is insignificant, but you're talking about this
I think
bifurcation area there, right? Where it
my
splits
feeling
in-
is both of these have to come off, that they're just too straight out front.
Yeah.
I think this is a better branch, and then you develop some branches
out-
coming
out
off
there.
of that.
Yeah. So we take this little tiny stub off
Yeah.
here. There's this little growth right in here,
Yeah.
and that comes off.
These new little shoots are good if you get them in the right place. Like,
And then we cut that one off.
yeah. And then there's a stub we can clean up
Yeah,
there.
a little stub from before.
Yeah.
All right.
And let's
There we
just
go.
look at the front now. There's a look at the front. So we've gotten rid of all those branches going straight out towards the front of the tree. You want them off to the side so you can kind of look at the trunk without, they call them eye poker branches, and they're kind of, you look at the tree, they're kind of poking you in the eye. It's
Not as pleasing.
no, I don't know what the reason is, but it just, they're not so good. There's a leaf or a branch
Branch.
hanging down, and I'm pretty sure that's an eye poker one, and that's a new shoot that's got to be removed because we have
And not just
a
the leaf,
division
the
up
whole
above.
shoot, because there's
The
a
whole
division
shoot,
above.
yeah.
And that'll make kind of a swirl or a knuckle in there if we don't get rid of that.
It's a new shoot that's growing in that we just don't need.
And get rid of that one, yeah.
So let's do this branch that's out the front here. I'll just show it. That's this one, which is the one we kept. We pruned the other part of it off.
Yep.
So it kind of starts from the middle of the tree and goes off to the side. So I think, because it does go off the side, I think we need something growing I don't want to keep it going off on the angle. I think something more
out front.
So I'm thinking if we go right back to this little leaf here, we could prune just above there, or the other choice would be up here, but I think that's getting too long.
Sure.
I think I'm better to go back to that little leaf.
The little one.
So I'll show you. Here's the little leaf here, so we want something a little more, I don't want the branch still kind of twisting around to the side.
Yeah.
So I think...
We hope that one will...
Do you agree with that, Dave? It's somewhere above there?
Yeah, I do, and I think what stood out there was when you said if we cut it out here, it's too long. It's still too long.
Right.
And I know it's a young branch, and it doesn't have a great amount of taper yet, but if we kept it up here, it'd be just long and straight, and that's going to help a little bit more movement and hopefully thicken it up with the next set of growth.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I think so.
So we go right about there.
Yeah, I think so. Big cut.
Big cut here.
Of this tree. No big cuts of this tree. Well, there might be, but you never know. That looks better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, maybe in the future that whole branch could come off, and I wonder if we should take it off now, because I'm developing the trunk here, and then the leader of this other branch is coming off here, which is each side of the viewer, and I'm wondering if we should just remove that whole branch and develop this as the leader of the branch, and then we've got this one here. This one's kind of in between.
It's competing against this someday if it gets too
in the shadow of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's take it off.
Take it off.
If in doubt, cut it out.
Cut it out.
Yeah, be careful. There's an aerial root there. We'll kind of keep. Yeah.
And then we now cut the whole thing
off. It looks better. It looks better. It's cleaner. It's a nicer front, isn't it?
Yeah.
Without that.
And I think it's nice to make that first cut. And the moment you made that first cut, it didn't take you long to say, no, I think we really should just take the whole thing off.
Yeah.
But you waited. You gave yourself that time to think about it a little bit longer.
Yeah. One thing on trees I don't like is if you get the flat front. You have to have some branches coming out the front of the tree. Otherwise, it looks like in the side view, it's sheared at the front and it looks funny. It's all dimensional around the back and there's nothing coming out the front. So you have to, all these branches that are coming off to the side, you've got to develop them.
Yeah.
And you'll have a bit of a hole in the canopy, but you fill it in eventually. But you don't want major branches shooting straight out the front of the tree. So
for sure.
Yeah, I think that looks better.
Yeah.
And then off of this branch, we've got a shoot at the back here, which I'm not liking. Are you liking that, Dave?
Not at all.
No. I think that's got to come right off.
That's a complete, just quick job right there. No, not much thought on that one.
Yeah.
Go.
So you can see on a tree like this, even though it's small, there's all these decisions you make, and these decisions build up over time. You can imagine 10 years from now, each decision you make affects the tree, and over time, all these decisions you make build this fantastic tree up in the future, hopefully. And that's what we're doing today, is making decisions, and the next time I prune it, I make more decisions, and it becomes an art form. Everyone would prune this tree a little bit differently, and it becomes very personal that, you make all these decisions on the tree. It's how you like it, how you envision the tree, and it becomes your personal piece of art. And it's kind of cool in the future knowing that, I remember that branch when it was just a little shoot, and now it's a fully developed branch, and it's the perfect direction I want it and everything. So we're going to continue pruning up this tree, and then we'll come back and have a look at it with it all compacted and branches selected, and it should be quite a change, I think. In the middle of our pathway here, there's a bird of prey just standing there, and we don't know if it's a baby or what it is. Hello. If you can see it there, it looks like maybe a falcon or something. How's it going, little fella? There you are. Hello. What a beautiful bird you are. Hi. Wow, you're so beautiful. I'm going back now.
And that way, my cards will be used for both.
Right.
And that was your mic, and you put back on your camera?
Yeah, this one's mine.
Nice. Okay.
Here is a behind-the-scenes view of a YouTube short in the making, starring Jay, Dave, and Toby is going to be filming.
Yeah.
So Jay, go into position there, and you tell me, Toby.
It'd probably be just as hidden.
And if I'm,
Maybe be even lower.
This is the setup.
I'm going.
Oh yeah. Don't throw your hands. Yeah, that's perfect.
Is that going to work?
That's perfect.
Okay, that's great. Okay, good.
Then you can actually keep
I can keep moving here.
The idea here is that Jay is going to be pruning away,
Without you.
and the leaves are going to be
We need
flying.
your blue scissors, please.
Okay, blue scissors.
Day 4 of the epic 2022 bonsai journey. I'm at the bonsai zone. I'm in the bonsai zone. The greenhouse. It's hot. It's sticky. The trees are loving it. But you know what? We're going to go out in nature and see where all these trees really are living, right? We've got some friends that are going to join us. Super excited to meet some more people. As a matter of fact, is that Jay from Blue Jay Bonsai?
Okay, and then
There we go. Okay. And then so we're gonna he's just gonna go and I'm gonna go
do maybe a couple like clips of the scissors before you.
yeah, chomp chomp chomp, and then go in
Yep.
for the there you go.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Ready?
Okay.
And you can't see me, Tobe?
No. So try not to throw your hands too high, and you should be good.
Okay, so I'm gonna put these real close so I don't move my hands very much. Okay, ready? And Toby, you say
I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, and not say go, but
Okay, yeah.
go
Right.
and go
You ready?
when the go would be. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So you can like walk out towards them.
and then you can just follow. And
Yeah.
then you're gonna follow us out.
Yep.
Okay, ready?
And then from
him, when you think there's a spot to cut, I want the last shot to be a close-up of the tree, the carnage, and the blue jay.
Yeah.
And then it'll be just like a.
Are we gonna do a carnage cam or something, or is it just gonna be him?
Well,
It sort of is the carnage.
Yeah.
If you follow me out,
Right.
and you say, right when I get here, you're gonna say, well, you gotta have the carnage cam shot.
Yeah.
And then you can go, vroom, vroom, right, and then end with the blue jay and the tree right there. Yep.
Sounds good. Sounds good,
All right,
guys.
here we go. Ready?
Yep.
So, can you do the 3, 2, 1 thing.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Jay, Nigel already trimmed that one.
Dave, we have finished the pruning. How long do you think it took? About an hour, maybe?
It was a good
Or-
hour.
Yeah.
We had a few chit-chat interruptions.
Yeah.
But
Jay from Blue Jay Bonsai has arrived. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Great to have you down.
Thanks for watering while we played.
Yeah, we put him to work. So how many decisions do you think we made? Like maybe 100, 150?
I don't know if it was 150, but
Maybe not
I
that
think it was a
many.
lot more decisions than I think anybody would think when you first look at this little
Yeah.
tree, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of decisions we made. And I think that's the glory of what we had to work with. You mentioned it just moments ago off camera. We had choices to make, and that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Lots
We had
of-
3 and 4 branches sometimes to choose, and that's what you want. And
Yeah.
you hopefully pick that best one. And sometimes we left 2 on where we know one's not going to last long.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
one of them might outpace the other one.
Exactly.
And those
See.
were really cool decisions to have the chance to make those.
Yeah, and you don't have to make every decision all at once. You can
Yeah.
leave it for the next pruning time and see how it develops. And
Absolutely.
you know, that's the beauty of developing a bonsai is there's no rush to get everything perfect.
Yeah.
It's continual improvement.
Absolutely.
So here's a shot of all the foliage and branches we took off, which, you know, for the size of the tree, I'm kind of amazed at how much we took off.
It
well,
really
I
looks like
should
a
be
lot.
used to that by now, but I am.
I didn't think we would take half of this off today.
No, especially because this tree was sort of sorted.
Yeah.
Last time I pruned it, I got it down to.
It looks like it
basically,
just grew a few inches every direction. Like you, what was that? What was that much to come off?
Yeah, it almost like exploded every branch with new growth, which is part of taking good care of a tree. Is that
for sure.
the healthier and better you take care of your tree, the more growth you get and the more back budding.
Yeah, for sure.
So now it is time
to reveal
for the tree reveal.
Let's
Here
take
we
a
go.
peek. Let's get it off, Dave.
That was a look at the tree all pruned up, and I think it's looking really good. Do you agree, Dave?
I really do.
I do. You're starting to see the structure of the tree, and we're building up these primary branches and secondary branches, and they're starting to get taper, movement, and it's starting to look really good. It's looking really miniature, this tree. And this tree isn't that old. I think it's maybe 6, maybe 7 years old from a grocery store Ginseng Ficus. So it's come a long way. And it's still got a long way to go, but it's getting that core structure and design to it. And I think it's starting to look like something quite special, I think. It doesn't look like a regular run-of-the-mill Ginseng Ficus. So that is all today. I want to thank Dave for coming down and helping prune up the Vietnam-style ficus. It's been a delight. And that wraps up Ficus Friday for another day, another week. I'm Nigel Saunders.
I'm David Weiss.
Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.